Today, let's talk about the warrior archers in 2025 for Age of Empires Mobile, because it is the #1 question that I get asked on a daily basis. How good is my Mulan doing? Is she still good? Is she still worth it in 2025? And yeah, I'm going to kind of answer that in today's video, so smash like, comment, and subscribe. And before we dive in, I do want to say thank you to all of you guys hitting the subscribe button. We are closing down on that goal to 50% subscribe to not subscribe. So I do want to say, if you haven't hit the button, check down below. You might have forgotten, which is perfectly fine. But if you keep coming back, hit the subscribe, and it helps the channel out a ton, right? So the first thing is, let's talk about Mulan then, the whole point of the video, right? You guys want to know if she's worth it and if she's still viable. And the first thing is, I'm going to tell you now, I still think she's worth it. I think this hero, out of the two heroes that you're able to get, she is definitely the one to go for. And what we're talking about is the good old Leonidas versus Josephine, right? Because we've got Leonidas down here, which we did unlock on our account, which I kind of regret. I honestly could have used this bundle on my Mulan and had a third pip already, and only needed to work on 150 sculptures for her, but it is what it is, right? But when it comes to Leonidas versus Mulan, I'm going to be honest, Leonidas just gets replaced, and he's not used at the moment anywhere, and that might change in the future for the pikemen and mains. Pikemen mains might run double warrior pikes with tactician pikes and martial pikes. Who knows, right? They might be crazy like that. But when it comes into the actual value, you'll notice Leonidas gets replaced. He really does. And even if you didn't unlock Leonidas, you can get Richard I and then go straight into Cyrus, and you're good. You're honestly good. You're not having to worry. Archer-wise, it's a lot different. Archer-wise, especially when you filter just for warrior archers, you'll start to get a big picture on how little support they really have, right? Attila and Timur are Lubu units. Let's just throw them out of this equation, because yes, some people might not own Lubu, and yes, some people might be running Timur or Attila in their marches with Mermaid, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to shout at you, but for 90% of the comments that are going to start typing if I don't say it, most people have Lubu. Most people have Lubu, and if you've got Lubu, these two heroes go with Lubu. End of discussion, right? So with that, archers, Mulan has only one hero to compete against, which is Bellevue. And I'm going to be honest, Bellevue does not take out Mulan in any shape or form. Mulan's damage compared to any of these heroes is just absurd. She's literally the Lubu of warrior archers from season 1 all the way up. And it's because when you look at her skill, Star Chaser, you're doing 300% damage to a target, but it's that 50% chance of getting an extra 3 instances of might damage of 150%. This is just absolutely bonkers. The amount of damage you're able to do with this skill alone is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. When you compare that to Bellevue, Bellevue will enter the double attack state, but she increases her hero might by 120 and then reduces their armor by 35 for every 6 normal attacks that's launched, right? So she's reducing her own armor while increasing her might. At the same time, you need the Dark Flag skill on to reduce the enemy's armor, so your might bonuses that you're gaining is actually going to matter, right? And this is where I think the issue is already, that the Bellevue, with just a signature skill, doesn't do that much. And even at 3 stars, comparing a 3-star Mulan, it's not even close. And when you get a 5-star Mulan compared to a 5-star Bellevue, again, the 5-star Bellevue makes her work and makes her actually viable as a decent hero, but it's still nowhere near close to the 5-star of Mulan. When you look at 5-star, she increases the trigger chance of that multi-instance damage by 35% and increases the multi-instance damage rate by an additional 40%. So you can see here already how much better this is at 5-star compared to just saying to Bellevue, guess what, girl? All the armor you've been losing from the first get-go, ignore it, but then increase your might by an extra 30 points. So what that says is then your skill increases your might by 150 for every 6 normal attacks that's launched. And that's it. Cool. It's not enough, as you can imagine, right? So straight away, the first thing answered. Is she still worth it? If I've not made that argument clear yet, yes, she is. There's no archer yet in the game that competes with her. And anyone who's running a warrior archer Mulan, like myself, will give you guys the little hint and secret from our community. It's all about Mulan and Mehmed, and we are waiting for that replacement for Bellevue. As soon as we get a good warrior archer, we're going to be smoking people again. And it's just because we're waiting for Bellevue to get replaced. It's that simple, right? Now, let's talk about the bigger elephant in the room, right? Because now I'm saying to everyone, yes, she's worth it. Yes, get her, pick her up. And everyone's going to be saying now in the comments, yeah, but you're going to die to the Lubus. Lubus are going to kill you. Just don't use it. You're going to get hunted down by Lubu. Lubu this, Lubu that. Get a fucking grip. Just because one match, and yes, it is very popular in Season 2 and in Season 3, yes, it's going to be around everywhere, but it doesn't mean you don't perform. I'm going to tell you from my personal experience, Minus Empire, Wonders, Battle of Dawn, I am in the top 3 in whatever I'm doing. So if I am going into a rally in those certain rally situations, the eliminations I'm getting is insane. Same with the garrisons. If I go into Battle of Dawn, if I go into Wonders, these events, I am in the top 3 best points performer in my team, and sometimes in the top 5 overall against other teams, right? Which is massive that I'm using a Mulan to achieve that, right? And that is with all the Lubus and everything on the field. And the reason why you're able to get away with it, especially as you come into Season 3 and into Season 4, is because of the meta shift, right? So the meta shift, as you guys should know, if we kind of take off everyone right now, is Season 1, you have the meta of Mulan. Mulan rules Season 1 and almost the beginning parts of Season 2 until the players with Lubu all max out, right? As soon as these Lubus start to get into 3 stars and 5 stars, you lose. It's the age of Lubu. But the thing is, as soon as it hits Season 4, it changes meta again, as you guys know. And it's the good old Cyrus meta now, right? So Cyrus comes into the game. And it's fantastic that he comes into the game because he absolutely does demolish Lubus. He eats them fucking alive, especially if you are a pikeman main, right? You're gonna eat cavalry. It's just your job. And because of this meta shift in Season 4 and what we've seen in Season 5 with the heroes that have been announced, and now myself and you guys, including watching the video, waiting on to see what Season 6 has on store for us, the meta is shifting. So you've got a bunch of Cyruses on the field and a bunch of Lubus on the field. And because of that, what tends to happen, as you guys can guess it, swordsmen appear. And a lot of swordsmen have started to appear. You're going to see Miyamoto's appear. And honestly, Miyamoto's are doing some really good work against the pikemen. They are. I'm not going to say they're not because I've seen it in my own eyes. Ramses, prime example of it. Ramses right now as an archer, I'm going to be honest, gets obliterated by Lubu, and even in some cases, Mulan players are beating this march just because it just doesn't do as good as an archer. But in the infantry slot, oh boy, is that a different story. Right now, it can almost go toe-to-toe to a Lubu match, which is fucking fantastic. But it also melts all of the pikemen out there, right? So it's kind of like the counter of the meta. So when you look at anything, right, Mulan is like the counter to the counter meta of Age of Empires Mobile, which is kind of fucking sick when you think of viability now, because especially in the later stages of the game, as we've been discussing in the video, right? Mulan is good season 1. She gets kind of counted in season 2 and season 3, but in season 4, she's back, basically. She's back on the field because of the infantry and the pikemen that you can honestly take out there. And what you're waiting for as a warrior and archer player in season 6 or season 7 is a replacement for Bellevue. And as soon as you've done that, and you've got these two heroes together, Mehmed and Mulan, with whoever is going to be that third hero, I'm telling you now, people are gonna be terrified because of how much damage reduction and damage amplification Mehmed provides. You've got the #1 damage dealing warrior archer in the game still, all the way to this day. And yeah, I don't know how else I can make it clear for you guys in this video. She's viable, she's worth it, and honestly, to this day, I'm still using her and I'm getting work out of her. To finish off the video, what I thought I'd do is give you guys a couple of secrets, which is the build that I'm running, as well as, more importantly, how you should be playing Mulan. And if you listen to this section, just this section alone, you're probably going to learn quite a lot of how the better, especially better archer players are playing, including myself, which I do consider a pretty good archer player when you start to see how you play with these marchers properly off stream, obviously not for entertainment. What you want to be doing is two things. You want to be running Mulan, Bellevue, and Mehmed. I'm telling you, right? And you can put Mehmed second to get his turn-based skill triggered first, a little bit sooner, so you can reduce that damage or increase the damage dealt, or both if you're lucky, that turn sooner, which does benefit that Bellevue to work and do a little bit more in there, and then obviously get things rolling with the Mulan, right? But in this build, which you'll notice, is I'm running double attack, and this is a skill that I am going to be maxing out very shortly when I get access to the next Mightiest Governor event, because the thing is with double attack, you need this on this hero. I know a lot of people are running Act of Mercy with weak spot attack, and I was one of them myself for the longest of times, but you'll realize that build is honestly only good if your Mulan is the biggest Mulan out there, aka you're a Kraken or you're a whale. And most players that might have Mulans, especially nowadays, aren't whales, aren't crackers. They're low to medium spenders that have been working on this hero on their account, which is fair enough. And if you're one of those players like myself, and I've called you out on this video, don't be offended, but double attack is better because you don't want to use Act of Mercy when your Mulan march, including my own, doesn't have level 30 rings, it doesn't have red gems, it doesn't have 5-star skills on all 3 of the commanders, because all of those little bonuses, including the cosmetics, all the extra cosmetics that you have, add up against someone else. And if you hit them really hard in the early fight, especially because you've got all the stat advantage, Act of Mercy is gonna do better. It is gonna work on that because it's bullying, you know, the person even more than you're already doing, which is fair enough. But for everyone else, double attack is better because with double attack and weak spot attack, what you're trying to do is two things. Enter the double attack state as often as possible in the Mulan to take advantage of the weak spot attack damage and increase the hero damage increase by 30%. But more importantly, to trigger Star Chaser. Star Chaser is the damage in Mulan, nothing else. This is absolutely absurd, the amount of damage it deals. Don't get me wrong, this is great. It's a nice little bit of chip damage that you'll see in the game, but it's actually Star Chaser. This thing deals an absurd amount of damage, so getting this actually triggering off as many times as possible is key in this build. And that's why, obviously, having Bellevue running her own double attack state and shredding people's armor and healing at the same time while dealing damage is great because it kind of fulfills that need of letting the Mulan potentially have more chances of going again, you know, in duration of the fight, surviving longer, and actually dealing more damage because they've reduced the armor. And this is the same with Mehmed, right? Mehmed is going to give the bonus effects and give you that reduction in the amount of damage you take from both his Peaceful Haven and his Fatigue main skill here. Down at the first line of text is 25% reduction. So again, you can see like you're able to run this build and take advantage of all the damage from the Star Chaser with double attack. And if you don't take advantage of that, you're going to lose out. And the cool thing with this build as well, just to tell you guys, it's amazing in rallies and obviously in garrisons. And on top of that, if you want Trojan events, it's going to do insane in there. Open field, it's really good too because of, again, try and trigger as many times as possible the signature skill with obviously the Radiant Guardian, as many of you guys will have equipped like me on your warrior archers. So yeah, absolutely fantabidoze. The second thing to finish off the video before we end is how to play with these guys. A lot of people, if you've not guessed it, as I've been saying in this video, are still playing Mulan like Season 1. And what I mean by that is, if you kind of like jumped into the open world, what people are trying to do is obviously summon their Mulan on the open field here and like run it into all the marchers, right? So what people want to do is get their Mulan on the field here and like full send into these enemies, right? And they don't care if they need to 1v5, 1v4, 1v3, whatever it is, they'll go and take it on the chin. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're doing that still, stop. Stop doing that because Mulan isn't capable of doing it. She's not that type of march, nowhere near anymore because it's not Season 1. That's what Lubu does in the cavalry tree, and it's what obviously our good friend Cyrus does here in the pikemen. So if you're running cavalry or pikemen, so Cyrus or Lubu, full send. I'm not going to be mad at you. Go for it. But if you're a warrior archer player, like today's video, like Mulan, like even the free-to-play players, which I'll address right at the end of the video, don't worry, you need to be picking off fights, right? You need to be finishing off opponents. That's your job right now. Not to try and kill someone at 100% HP. And don't get me wrong, if you fight an infantry player at 100% HP, you're gonna shred them. You're gonna shred them. It's what unit counter does. But for Mulan players, I'm trying to make this very important. Please do not focus 100% units anymore. Just go for the guys in the open field fight, as you'll notice that your Cyrus and your Lubus are going to go in. They're going to deal a big burst of damage to the enemy troops, and then you jump in, kill the pikemen, kill the infantry, and kill the other archers, and do whatever you like in that regard. Because what you'll realize is with Mulan and Bellevue and obviously Mehmed, you start to get insane trades and your archers will stay out way longer if you're attacking players that have 60 to like 75% troops of their troop count remaining compared to the hitting 100%. And that is just kind of like a normal game mechanic you should be doing in general cases. But for archers specifically, for Mulan specifically, this rule cannot be stressed enough that if you don't follow it, you're going to get mashed up, guys. You're going to take so much damage in early fights with other players that when you start to fight these other guys in chain combat, you're going to lose. And you're going to die by your second, third, maybe fourth fight instead of fighting 5, 6, 7, 8, nearly 10 times in one combat before heading home and dying in Wonder, in Battle of Dawn, in the Armyy Empire, Golden Expedition, you name it, right? So I can't stress it enough. You guys might need to adapt and change your play styles on your Mulans and Warrior Archer marches. So that is everything in today's video. For the free-to-play players, if you guys are wondering what I was meaning earlier, the only thing you guys need to know if you're playing Warrior Archers is you're in a tough spot because you're running Bellevue Josephine, and Mehmed II. And I am going to be making some up-to-date guides soon on all of the formations in the game. I know you guys have been requesting it, but I've been trying to make some brand new overlays and just infographics that are better for you guys, better quality, better content, right? So until then, until the next video, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Mulan and Warrior Archers down below. And until then, smash a like, smash the subscribe button, tell me what you think, and then stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.